morning. Shortly after 5 o'clock this morning, police responded to Fantasia Drive in the Dranesville community for reports of a crash and shots fired. As officers arrived, they located an adult male shot inside of a vehicle. Officers saturated the area and were able to take a person into custody who we do believe is the shooter involved in this incident. So that adult male is in custody at this time, and the adult male that was shot in the vehicle was transported to a local hospital where he has been pronounced deceased. So after 5 o'clock this morning, multiple residents heard the gunfire and began calling 911. Witnesses provided police with a description of a vehicle that they saw fleeing the area. As police responded, they located a crashed vehicle within a couple blocks of the shooting scene with evidence that suggested that vehicle had been involved in the shooting. Shortly after that, officers set up a perimeter around this area, and a suspect made himself known to police and turned himself in. That suspect has made statements that makes us believe that he is the shooter in this incident. We do not believe this is a random act of violence, and we do not believe that there is a threat to the community at this time. As officers responded to the area and saturated the community, we also saw a vehicle that was driving erratically on the opposite side of the community. A police officer tried to stop that vehicle, and the driver bailed out on foot and ran into the woods. We're still looking for that person at this time. We have not come to find out who that person is. So we're unknown if there is a relationship between that person and the shooter in this case, but we are working to figure that out. That vehicle and the police are working through that in the adjoining area. So I want to first thank the police officers who responded to this scene and quickly saturated, and we were able to kind of lock down this neighborhood for the safety of the community. I think that is one of the leading reasons why the offender made himself known and turned himself in to the police. Also, we've had numerous residents come forward and provide us with Ring video footage and other type of corroborating information that have helped us quickly kind of bring the facts together and arrive at the location where we're at now, which is we have the shooter in custody. We do not believe it's a random act of violence, and we don't believe there is an immediate threat to the community. So I'll take some questions you have at this time as we work through this.
Did the shooter stay on scene? Did the shooter turn themselves here in this area?
No, the shooter drove approximately a block and a half, 2 blocks from here, and then abandoned the vehicle that was used in this incident. So we're not. No, that the vehicle that you can see behind us is the victim vehicle.
Is that part of the vehicle in the ground?
Say that again?
The person that fled, is that part of his vehicle?
Yeah, there is some debris located nearby, and the preliminary details make us believe that obviously it's part of this crime scene. So it very well could be part of the suspect's vehicle as that vehicle fled.
Is it possible carjacking?
It does not look like a carjacking. It looks like a targeted act of violence, which we do not believe is random.
Now, was there a chase?
So we don't believe there was a chase. The radio traffic about that other vehicle that I mentioned, so the officer came on the radio and said, you know, there's someone driving erratic, and in very short order that vehicle pulled into a dead end, into a driveway, and the driver got out and ran. That person is described as a male, approximately 5'9", with curly hair, wearing all dark clothing, and that's really all we have. So I can tell you that we know where that vehicle belongs. We know where the registered owner lives. We know that that is relatively close to where the vehicle was abandoned. So we are working through all of those leads to try to identify the driver and their relationship. But based on all the statements made by our shooter and others, we feel very confident in the fact that there was a single shooter involved in this, and that shooter is in custody.
And the two, did they know each other?
We don't know that at this time.
Did you want to talk about some of the technology to be able to find all these different vehicles and the suspects?
Yeah, thank you. So, you know, anytime something happens like this and there's a rapidly evolving situation, First and foremost, our officers are aided by our real-time crime center who can quickly come online and begin using all of our technology and databases. Through our Connect Fairfax program, there are many opportunities for us to locate cameras, to try to see if we can find the crime in progress, but also identify homes who may have signed up for the Connect Fairfax program, where we could go and canvass and say, hey, did you capture the shooting? Would you mind checking your system? So I do think between our real-time crime center, who quickly identified suspects based on vehicles and their registrations, our awesome helicopter unit that responds quickly, our canine unit that deploys quickly, we're blessed to have a lot of technology and special units that can help us quickly solve these problems.
Can I just go over the timeline really quick?
Yes.
And you can maybe repeat, but so shortly before 5, there was reported shooting, and so officers arrived here on the scene, and somehow they locate the suspect in their vehicle. That person stops, and they turn themselves in. In the midst of that, other things are happening.
Yeah, so right around 5 o'clock is when the shooting occurs. As police saturate the area, they find the victim located in his vehicle, which is behind us. Officers also locate what they believe is the suspect's vehicle, only a block and a half or so from here, obviously crashed and abandoned. Officers begin setting up a perimeter to hopefully limit the ability of somebody fleeing on foot from getting away. It is at that time that the suspect makes himself known to police and turns himself in to one of the officers that are on that perimeter positions. So at that same time that all of that was occurring, as officers were again saturating the area, that's when they see the vehicle driving erratically off of Wheelie Avenue. So just a little bit in the opposite direction of where we located our suspect. When officers got behind that vehicle, he quickly fled down onto one of the side streets, went into a dead end, parked in a driveway, and ran into the wooded area behind the house. So had no, the vehicle didn't belong to that house, but the person just fled on foot. So that was kind of all happening within 15 minutes. So officers were kind of working both of those scenes. As we were looking for the person who ran away from the vehicle, the suspect turned himself into police. So there was a moment in time when we weren't quite sure if that person that ran was our suspect. So we're just sorting through all of that. At this time, we do not believe the suspect that ran was the suspect that turned himself in. And we also believe, based on what our shooter has told us, that we have our shooter in custody. And we do believe that there's another person outstanding who we're trying to identify to fully understand what the relationship is between our shooter and this fleeing individual. But we don't believe at this time that person poses an immediate threat to the community. And we need to sort out who they are and why they ran away.
The shooter is considered a suspect?
The shooter is considered a suspect, absolutely, yeah.
And anything else you can tell us about the victim? Did they live in this neighborhood? Are they from here?
Yeah, the victim does live nearby, and that's what makes us pretty comfortable believing that this is a very targeted attack on the victim.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.